The bereaved relatives of the Mothers of Srebrenica group have fought for more than 2 decades for justice. Emerging from court, they were bitterly disappointed.
I'm shaken, I'm surprised, but I will never forgive them. I will never let go of this.
At Potocari, Srebrenica, July 1995, a crisis became a massacre. Thousands of terrified Muslim civilians crammed into the UN compound seeking refuge. And when Serbian forces entered the town, the 400 Dutch UN peacekeepers were outgunned and outnumbered. Women and men were separated, and nearly 8,000 men and boys were taken away and murdered. The Supreme Court case focused on 350 Muslim men who the Dutch peacekeepers had handed over to the Serbs, despite knowing the men would probably be murdered. But the judges estimated that the men would have had only a 10% chance of survival, even if they'd been allowed to stay inside the UN compound.
The outcome is that the state bears very limited responsibility in the case of the Mothers of Srebrenica. The responsibility, the liability, is limited to 10% of the damages suffered by the remaining relatives of 350 male refugees who were staying at the compound of Dutchbat.
The Dutch case is regarded as groundbreaking in establishing that governments can be held liable if the peacekeepers they send on UN missions fail to protect civilians during armed conflicts. But it's also been legally controversial, and the Dutch Advocate General had called the liability irrational. The claimants believe it's the 10% decision that's irrational.
They admitted 10% of liability, but that still means that they admitted responsibility. The Defense Ministry of the Netherlands and their government are responsible for genocide in Srebrenica. It doesn't matter 1%, 10% or 100%. They are responsible.
It's not clear what level of financial compensation the relatives might finally get. That will be decided in a separate court case. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera.